In this video, I am going to build a QR code scanner app using Objective-C. So now I'll open the Xcode app. I'll create a new project. Okay, now I'll click the app and name it Scanner. So I'll save it in my desktop. Okay, so it's loaded. Now first we'll design the main storyboard, the UI. So first we'll add a UI view. So we'll add this one. So make it this big. Now I'll change the properties. I'll change it to light gray. Okay, now I'll change the auto resizing to this. Now I'll use a label. Not a label, text field. So let's keep it there. And next I'll change the color to black. Placeholder as QR code output. Okay, next I'm going to set it this one. Okay, where do I have? I'll just check if it's wrapping. Just copy it. I'm using it because the URL or the output can be big, so I'm going to use wrapping. See, let's give so much C's. Okay, it's not wrapping. Okay, see, it's not wrapping, so use label. Change it to and line 0. Next I'm going to add a button. Add it here. Excuse me. Black and change and type the text as scan. Okay, now I'll change the constraints, the auto resizing. Okay, now I'll open the assistant. Okay, I'll go to the view controller.h and import AV foundation, because we are going to use the camera. going to use the AV capture metadata output okay, I gave the wrong port. AV capture metadata object delegates. Okay, next we are going to use create instance. So first you will give property, then non-atomic and strong. Then we'll create the instance of AV capture session. I name it as capture session. Next we're going to use property again, non-atomic strong, and give this AV capture video preview layer. View layer. Next we are going to create function. So we'll give void stop reading and start reading. Okay, and stop. Okay, and you have to return this one as bool. Okay, so I'll say now we'll go to the info.plist and go to the required device capabilities, right click on it, and then we'll shift row to the left. Next we'll use the access, we'll use the access privacy, camera usage description, and I'm going to give camera usage in app. Okay, so camera usage in the app. Okay. Oh, I gave the wrong spelling of usage. Okay. Now I'll go to the main storyboard. Assistant. I'll quit Xcode. Maybe there's some problem. Yeah. Okay, so we have got the .m file. Okay, so now first we'll create these objects, the objects. So I'll name this as container view, and next this one is the label. I'll name it as QR label, and the scan button. Oops. I'll just move that. I'll create it again. Scan button. And I'll also create a trigger for the scan button. Okay. So before that, in the scan button, when we click it, we'll set the QR label to nil, dot text equals to nothing. Okay. Now in the view.load we are going to assign capture session, okay, which we have created in the .h file, equals to nil. Okay, and then we'll use scan button dot layer dot corner radius. We'll assign it to 10 and the QR label. I will change the background. This capture session, the capture session variable connects the input and output and throws an error if there's an error. Okay, I'll change the background color. I'll change it to gray 2. Okay, now in the scan, but now we'll create the start reading function, which we have created in the .h file. So next, in the brackets, we are going to create ns error. Okay, error. Okay, and then we are going to create an object of the AV capture device device. Okay, and we'll name it capture device. Okay, the capture device which provides the camera, okay, which is the camera, output video, the photo, the video types. Okay, so we'll allocate memory for it. So AV capture device and then alloc default. Okay, so we're going to get default with media type, which is AV media type video. Okay, which will display in this UI view the error. Okay, I gave the wrong spelling. Okay, next we are going to create the object of AV capture device input. And name it device input. Okay, before that we'll return yes. Okay, so we're going to assign device input with AV capture device input and then device input, and we're going to use the capture, what is that? Capture device. Capture device, and we'll use error here. So when it will capture this variable error, it will capture input through the camera. Okay, it will come through the camera. What's that error? Okay, I have to give ampersand here. Okay. Next, we'll give an if condition. So if it's the device input is not available, we'll give it like this. device input not available, then it'll throw an error. So we'll give nslog, and then we'll give %at error, and we'll use error localized description. Okay, and then we'll return no. Okay, now I will create a assign capture session. I'll allocate memory for it. Capture session alloc, and then init, and then we are going to add input for the captured session. So we'll use add input, and we'll use the device input. Okay, now we'll create an object of a AV capture metadata output. Okay, now in the AV capture metadata output, we'll create capture metadata output, and then we'll assign it, we'll allocate memory for it. AV capture metadata output alloc init use init. Okay, next I'll add capture session add output metadata output. Next we'll create a thread. We'll create this thread to make the process run serially. So we'll use dispatch qt and name it as dispatch q. Okay, the metadata will get details of the QR code which will scan, like email address, phone number, text, or any other details. Okay, now we'll assign dispatch queue with dispatch queue and create. Okay, so we'll name it the label as QR queue, and this one to null. Okay, and next we'll assign capture metadata output and set metadata object delegate. Okay, so first we'll use the container view, we'll use self. Okay, so we'll use self, and the queue, dispatch queue, which we have created. Then we'll use the capture metadata output and set metadata types, and we'll is array, and AV capture, and array with objects. Okay, and we'll use the AV capture QR, this one, AV metadata object type QR code. As we are going to scan QR code, we'll use the QR code, this one. Next, we will use the video preview layer which we have created in our .h file. Okay, so we'll assign it, we'll allocate memory for it. AV capture video preview layer, allocate, and then we'll init with session. We'll use the capture session. We'll use this video preview layer to display the video through the camera, which is being recorded through the camera on the UI view. Okay. Next, video preview layer, then set video gravity, and we'll use AV video AV layer, video gravity, aspect fill. Okay, semicolon, and then use video preview layer, and then we'll set the frame for the container view which we have created. Layer bounds. Okay, so this will match the video preview layer's size, height and width with our container view. Next, the container view, so we'll use container view, add sub view, and we'll use the video preview layer. Next, we'll start the process, so we'll use capture session and start running. This will start running the process. Now we have to also create, oh, I forgot the semicolon. Next, we have to create the start reading function. Semicolon here. Okay, in the start reading, we'll use capture session. Okay, and we'll use capture session. Stop running, which will stop the process. Okay, and next we'll send the capture session back to nil, and the video preview layer okay, so we'll use the video preview layer, and then we'll remove it from our super layer, which is the UI view. Okay, calling the stop reading as start reading, it is actually stop reading. Okay, the function. Now I'll proceed. Now let's connect my mobile. I've connected it. Now I'll upload it to the phone. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, so it's Skyping cache files. I'll just check if I the right thing. Camera. Okay, it's game. Okay, now we have the. Oh, I forgot to call. This function will not work if I don't call it. So replace it. Okay, now okay, it's uploaded. Now I'll just. Okay. Unrecognized selector, AV capture video preview layer. Okay. There is okay, so there is, as this is a layer, so I'll use the dot layer. Okay, CA layer, and we have to name this add sublayer because okay. Now I'll upload it again. Okay, I'll click scan. Okay, now you see that you can see my keyboard through the camera. Okay, so it's working. Now we'll proceed for our capture output, which will read the data stored in the which will give the output, which will print the output on a text field, the label. Okay, we're going to continue. My laptop got hanged, but that's why I restarted it. Now let's continue. So next we'll type an if condition. So if next we'll give two of these metadata object type is equal to string, the QR code okay, then we'll use the QR label, set performance selector on main thread Okay, so we'll use the first one. Okay, so over here we'll give remove the E. Over here we'll give add selector, set text. We'll just set the text, and with object we'll use the metadata object. Metadata object string value. Okay, and wait until done no. Okay, next we'll use these brackets, and then self perform form selector on main thread. I selected the wrong one. So in this we'll use stop reading, which we'll call the stop reading function, which we created here. So so I'll use add selector start reading. Okay, next in the with object we'll give it as nil, and the wait until done no. Okay, next we are going to use the scan button proper object. Scan button, then perform selector on main thread. Then we'll use add selector may set title. This with object we will use just a string start, and this one is no. Okay, so now hit the tab and call the self stop reading. Okay, now I'll just save it. Okay, now I'll upload it. So I'll select the phone. Now I'll upload it. Okay, so it's okay. So we have the view here, the view controller. Okay, now I'll click scan, so the camera is switched on. Now I have some QR codes here, right here. Okay, so I'll just scan one. It's not scanning. Okay, so I'll just check this code. I'll switch off the I think I've got the bug, so I have to remove this one here. Okay, now I will upload it again. I'll just show it. Okay, so it's uploaded. I'll start the scan. Now I'll show these QR codes. Okay, I'll just switch on the light. Okay, now I'll show this one here. Still did not work. It's not working. I'll just check. Type QR code and I give start reading instead of stop reading. So I'll go to stop reading. Now I'll upload it. Still did not upload. Okay, see, the app came. Now I'll click the scan button. You can see the keyboard. Now I'll scan this QR code. Check. It did not work. Just check it. I forgot to initialize a metadata object at index 0. Okay, now we will upload it. Okay, you can see that it came. Now you can see my keyboard. Now I'll scan the QR code again and check if it's working, and it takes some time. Okay, you see the URL came to the label. I'll click the scan button again. I'll scan this one and okay. So I'll just okay, next you see that this one will give the same URL. Okay, you see that the URL came. Now I'll scan a different QR code. Just get one. Okay, so I've got my book here. This QR code here. Okay, you see that it came. The URL. Okay, so that means it's working fine. Now we'll just give some final adjustments. Just change this to 20 and change the background color to black. Make the font size big. Make this one big. Okay. And now I'll execute it again. Okay, so now it's working. Now I'll go to the M file and container view.layer.corner radius equals to 10. I'll replace it. Okay, so I have a QR code here. Okay, now you see it gave the correct URL. Okay, so that means that our app is working fine. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed this video.